KRCR News Channel 7 Facebook page. The question again this morning is what's happening with the wind and fire conditions? Chief Meteorologist Mike Kruger has our forecast. Good morning, Mike.
Good morning, Kelly. And of course, that's something we have been monitoring for quite some time here. The temperatures, the winds, the humidity levels as well. So let's take a look at those conditions. You can see right now in the low 70s for the valley and in the 40s and 50s for the higher elevations. There are those calm winds, at least for the valley right now. But the winds are a little bit stronger as you start getting into the foothills and in the mountains. But again, nothing major. And there you can see the humidity levels. And again, another thing to take note, the humidity level out at the Redding Airport, 68%, which is great. Some great relative humidity recovery overnight. However, as you start getting to the mountains, those humidity levels closer to around 30% on average here. So out the door this morning for the valley, it's going to be on the mild side. We'll call for mid-70s. Smoky and hazy all day long today. Temperatures over 100 degrees. And for the coast, of course, that fog will continue through most of the day with temperatures reaching the upper 50s to low 60s for the coast. Kelly.
Well, if you've been watching, you know we've been working around the clock to give you the information you need about the Carr fire. And we have an experienced team of reporters from our sister stations to help bring you the stories of the Carr fire. This morning, reporter Claudette Stefanian joins us from Old Shasta, west of Redding. Claudette?
Good morning to you, Kelly. We're over here in Old Shasta getting a better look on just how bad the damage is. This was a fast-moving fire. Fire crews are now entering their 10th day. And I want you to take a look at just how bad the destruction is over here. And this is a pattern that we seem to stumble upon quite often over here. First, we'll see a home that's completely been burnt down to the ground. Nothing but rubble seems to exist. But then as you kind of look in the distance there, it seems to be what looks like might be a shed, looks completely untouched. And I was speaking with firefighters just a few days ago, and they said, that's how erratic this fire is. Something will just be a flying spark or an ember. Suddenly a home will catch fire, but then the other ones somehow will be able to sustain the brunt of those flames. Now, over here in Old Shasta, from what I'm seeing, this is the pattern so far. We've just been able to get a closer look because the sun is up. But I was speaking with CAL FIRE yesterday asking about these evacuation orders. There's some residents who have been able to return to their neighborhoods to better assess if their homes are still standing. But then areas like this, you are not allowed back in. And CAL FIRE says they're not trying to keep residents from going and checking on their homes. They're saying that this is something that they have to do. They have to assess the area. They have to make sure it's safe, not only for you, but for those homes that are damaged. And even this morning, I even had a moment where I saw a flying spark, and that was one thing they mentioned, that it is possible that these fires can kick up again. And we were even seeing some winds. And when you're dealing with wind conditions, that can take a small fire and spread it everywhere. So we're going to keep you posted with the latest from here. With that, back to you.
The devastation is endless. Thank you, Claudette. There are several ways you can get updated information on the Carr fire today. Tonight, CAL FIRE hosts a community meeting in Lakehead at the Lions Club on Mammoth Drive starting at 6 p.m. CAL FIRE will hold a news conference at 2 p.m. at the Shasta District Fairgrounds. And this morning, we'll be streaming the CAL FIRE incident update. That's on our Facebook page. It starts at 7 a.m. Many people wonder what they can do to help the many victims of the Carr fire. Well, starting at 5 a.m. tomorrow morning, you can donate to our Care for Carr telethon right here on KRCR News Channel 7. We're teaming up with the Salvation Army to host the telethon to raise money to help victims of the Carr fire. Tomorrow morning, Mike Kruger and I will be hosting. We'll be on the air with phones open from 5 to 9 a.m. And tomorrow night, the telethon continues from 5 to 8 p.m. But you don't have to wait until tomorrow. We're already accepting your donations online at krcrtv.com. You can just click on the Care for Carr banner at the top of the page. Those donations will stay local. We care about our communities and will actively help recover and rebuild. We're following not just the Carr fire, but also another major fire burning in Mendocino County. We'll tell you about the Mendocino complex and how people on the North Coast are helping those affected by the Carr fire.
Tracking some monsoon moisture down to our south and east over Nevada. It's quite honestly getting a little too close for comfort. It's got some thunderstorms associated with it, and not to mention some gusty winds with those thunderstorms. Details coming up.
You're watching
in here. Also in Oroville. Kelly.
Thanks, Mike. We've been fanning out across Shasta County, bringing you updated information on the Carr fire. And we have an experienced team of reporters to help bring us news stories each and every day. Reporter Julia Avery joins us from Keswick Dam Boulevard. Julia?
Kelly, here on Keswick Dam Boulevard, there's still a roadblock. You can see this behind me for the evacuated area. I'm here with Specialist Ben Hagman, correct?
Correct.
And what is your job out here right now?
So our job as a National Guard MP is to implement a roadblock on roadways where the residents aren't allowed to go. It's blocked to the public.
Okay, and where are you from?
I'm from Rancho Cordova, California.
So are you constantly traveling around to do things like this?
Yes, we always get activated to do events like this. It's what we sign up to do, and I enjoy doing it, helping out the communities.
Awesome. And so, right now, if someone comes by, I'm understanding there's a lot of people in this community that want to go back and might even be a little pushy about it. What do you do if someone is trying to just get past you?
So our main role is to support local law enforcement, and we will notify them, and they will handle the situation at their level.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much. And like I said, we understand you guys want to get back to your homes. That makes sense to all of us, but they are just trying to keep us safe, and they're doing their jobs out here to keep you guys from areas that are very dangerous. So we all appreciate what you guys are doing out here, and thank you for coming all this way to help us out. Kelly, back to you.
And we just got a news release that the governor will be assisting at the governor's Office of Emergency Services in the Sacramento area today at 10 o'clock. So the governor checking in on the response to the Carr fire. We'll tell you what the North Coast is doing to help evacuees as well, coming up on Daybreak.
You're watching
Unique, stylish, beautiful. The brands you know, the quality you expect. Visit the showroom of J.W. Wood Company.
The Doctors. Weekdays on KRCR TV.
On the North Coast, Humboldt County is doing its part to help people displaced by the Carr fire and a large fire in Mendocino County. Andy Kraus has the story from our North Coast newsroom.
And good morning from the North Coast. With two of the state's largest and deadliest wildfires burning just hours from Humboldt County, a great deal of the victims displaced by the Carr and Mendocino complex fires have evacuated here. That's why a collection of county organizations are doing whatever they can to lend a helping hand during the state's darkest hour. As wildfires threaten homes in Shasta, Trinity, Mendocino, and Lake counties, some evacuees have found refuge in Humboldt.
When you call this line, our public information line, we're going to ask, where are you evacuating from? How many people are with you? And what are you in need of? Are you in need of shelter, medical care, maybe a place for your animals? So we're trying to assess how we can best help the victims of these fires.
Calling the Sheriff's information line at 707-441-5000 can connect evacuees with the best resources and latest fire information, including evacuation and repopulation orders. It will also help the county find out how many people have come to Humboldt escaping fire danger.
That's just so that we can better serve evacuees and find the correct resources to match them with.
The Eureka Community Health and Wellness Center has also opened its doors to any evacuees seeking medical attention.
We have extended hours in the evening. We have extended hours on Saturday. We try to keep openings during the day for acute care. To come in, they can get nebulizer treatments or inhaler treatments, or they can get masks if they would like.
If you need a medication refill because your medications either were destroyed in the fire or left behind and you need them now, you can go to Open Door for that, as well as breathing treatments or any sort of non-emergency medical care.
Other local agencies such as Redwood Capital Bank and Pay It Forward Humboldt have also stepped up to the plate by accepting financial contributions to aid wildfire victims. Whatever it takes to make such a difficult time seem easier.
We just want to be here to help. We want to ease the burden a little bit, just to make sure that your needs are met.
The Sheriff's Information Line is open during normal business hours from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. on weekdays. You can also visit CAL FIRE's incident page online for the most up-to-date information on all wildfires. That's a look at what's happening here on the North Coast this morning. I'm Andy Kraus. Back to you.
And we're still working to get you the latest information on the Carr fire. We have a team of reporters from our sister stations bringing you the stories of the Carr fire. This morning, reporter Claudette Stefanian joins us from just west of Reading. Claudette?
Good morning to you, Kelly. You know, one of the areas that we've been asked about is Old Shasta, and that's where we're at this morning, trying to get a better look. And you can probably hear behind me the rustling of leaves, and that's because the wind is finally picking up over here. And this is something that firefighters definitely have to be worrisome about, because suddenly these winds can pick up and suddenly a fire can suddenly start to change direction. Now, right now, you're looking at one of the homes we spotted. It's completely burned down to the ground. There's nothing quite left of it. But then in the back, we actually see that one of the structures is still standing. And this is a pattern that continues to reiterate itself all along this particular road where we're situated, where some homes look like they're completely untouched. They look absolutely fine, while others don't. Now, I actually spoke with CAL FIRE just yesterday to get a better idea on how houses are looking. And they're saying, unless you're able to go and see your home, it's really hard to determine exactly what the status is. You could potentially have a house that's still standing, but it's quite possible that there might be more damage, especially if it happens to be adjacent to a burned home. So the website that CAL FIRE has been mentioning over the last 2 days, they said all it can do is give, residents, neighbors, some sort of ease on what the condition is in their neighborhood, but is in no way a definitive determination on what the situation is with their home. Now, for a lot of these places that have those evacuation orders in place, they're not going to be able to return to their homes. They have to wait till it's lifted, and a lot of it has to do with safety. A lot of it has to do with the rebuilding of an infrastructure, especially when it comes to power and trying to bring all of those back up. With that, back to you.
Thanks for that update, Claudette. In the wake of the devastating Carr fire, we're turning our focus to recovery. Coming up on Daybreak, we'll tell you about the Care for Carr fundraising telethon.
Here is today's picture of the day. Today's lucky winner has won an 8x10 enlargement of this photo from Crown Camera in Reading. Welcome back, everyone. The time is 6:20. Take a look at the Carr fire perimeter map. Now, the area in red here is the perimeter of the fire. This is the perimeter from yesterday. We're hoping to get the latest coming up here pretty soon. But we're looking at these orange dots is coming in from the satellite. These are hot spots from the fire. So you can kind of see it gets outside of that perimeter, and that's pretty common because you tend to get those embers flying, and then you get these little hot spots that develop here. But you'll notice there's a lot of activity here to the west of the perimeter line here. So it'll be interesting to see where the perimeter line is at this point as we again get that information. There you can see a closer look, and this is Lewiston right here. Here's the Shasta and Trinity County line right here, and again you're seeing a few hot spots outside of the old perimeter line here, but really not getting too far away from that. So I know that there were a lot of resources put up in this area yesterday, and hopefully that effort has helped. And there you can see the fire temperature. 2 hot spots right here. Looks like the northern fringe and the southern end are where we're seeing it burning the hottest at this point. Now, Trinity Camp, this is out at the southwestern side of Trinity Lake. Temperature of 65 there, 39% relative humidity. Out at Mule Mountain, which is west of Reading, where in a sense, where the valley meets the mountains, you can see a humidity of about 26% and 75 degrees there. Look at the temperature trend. We're going to keep it around 100 degrees or just above that in Reading, but we should drop back down closer to normal by the weekend and into the beginning of next week. Kelly.
Thanks, Mike. We, KRCR News Channel 7, are joining the effort to help the people recover from the Carr fire. Tomorrow morning, we're hosting the Care for Carr telethon right here on KRCR News Channel 7, teaming up with the Salvation Army. Here's what you need to know. Tomorrow morning, Mike Kruger and I will be hosting. We'll be on the air with the phones open from 5 a.m. to 9 a.m. Then tomorrow night, the telethon continues from 5 to 8 p.m. But you don't have to wait until tomorrow to help. We're already accepting online donations on our website, krcrtv.com. Just click on the Care for Carr banner at the top of the page. 3 people remain missing after the Carr fire. They are Richard Bigby of Reading, Bruce Brown of Old Shasta, and Glenda Prusa of Reading. If you're one of the people on the list or you have any information on their location, contact the Carr Fire Missing Persons Hotline at 530-225-4277. Our reporters are out blanketing Shasta County, bringing you the stories of the Carr fire. One of our team of experienced reporters, Julia Avery, is live this morning.
I'm on Keswick Dam Boulevard, where the National Guard is manning this roadblock for people who are evacuated. Coming up, I'll talk to Colonel Robert Paletti about his soldiers and how many disasters they're going to this year.
Hey, Reddit, the dog.
On.
Get up.
You're watching KRCR News Channel 7. Get the facts right.
Welcome back. It is 6:26 on this Wednesday. We're bringing the most comprehensive coverage of the Carr fire, and we've assembled an experienced team of reporters to help bring you the stories. Reporter Julia Avery is live this morning. Julia?
Kelly, I'm on Keswick Dam Boulevard. This is one of the roadblocks that the National Guard is helping to man. I'm with Colonel Robert Paletti. How many disasters have you guys been sent to yet this year?
Well, between last year's fire season and this fire season, plus the Oroville Dam, I think this is 7. So Oroville Dam, Napa, Sonoma, Santa Barbara, back for the Santa Barbara mudslides, plus Siskiyou County a couple of weeks ago, and a couple of smaller disasters in between. So the soldiers that you see here are very busy. This is probably one of the highest operational tempo units in the National Guard, the 49th Military Police Brigade. And I want to stress, these guys are not full-time soldiers. These are part-time drilling guardsmen that when we call them up for these, they leave their jobs, their home, their families, and come to these things. So it is a big impact on their lives, and it shows their dedication to duty. I'm real proud of them.
Wow. So these soldiers have jobs and you know, families that they are leaving to come to all of these disasters.
Absolutely. It's just like me when I was the police chief. I commanded the 49th Military Police Brigade part-time and was police chief full-time. So all of them have jobs, students, and they leave all that to come here and assist when we're needed.
Wow, that's awesome. Well, we appreciate everything that you guys are doing. And as we were standing here, a woman came up and brought cookies. I think the whole community is really happy to have you guys here. All right, Kelly, back to you.
And I want to read you something I just found on Facebook. Many of you have been asking about Trinity County and the fire, and they want specifics about the firefight this morning. So this is from the Lewiston Fire Chief, Mel Deerdorf, and basically saying they are not going to let this fire come into Lewiston. They say the main concern is at Hoadley Peak. Tomorrow, the fire chief said he'll be working, or today rather, he'll be working with 2 large sky cranes out of Lewiston Community Park. These choppers will each carry 2,000 gallons of retardant per trip. There will be a huge push today to knock the fire down. They're asking you to stay off the roads in Lewiston because there will be many more vehicles entering town today, and the sheriff will stop you if you're just wandering around. So they're saying get out of the way, let these firefighters do their job as they really attack the fire outside of Lewiston. Our coverage of the Carr fire continues, and our team of reporters will check in to tell you what's happening this morning. And Mike Kruger has new information about the weather.
You're watching
in about half an hour or less. We're expecting those updated containment numbers from the Carr fire. As of the last update, it is 30% contained and stands at 112,000 acres. 965 homes have been destroyed and 178 have been damaged. More than 2,500 structures are threatened. And as I just mentioned a couple minutes ago, Residents of Trinity County, we have not forgotten about you. The fire chief expressing overnight, stay off the streets of Lewiston because they are really going to mount an intense air attack. They have the Los Angeles Fire Department as well as other fire departments bringing in some really large helicopters today to mount an air attack to keep the fire out of Lewiston. And they want you to stay out of the way so they can get as many vehicles and helicopters in there as possible. We are, by the way, going to live stream this morning's CAL FIRE incident update from the fairgrounds. That starts at 7 a.m. That will be on the KRCR News Channel 7 Facebook page. So first thing in the morning, everyone wants to know how the weather will affect the fire. Let's check in with Chief Meteorologist Mike Kruger. Mike?
Thanks a lot, Kelly. And this is that when we're talking about fire weather here, one of the things that we look at is what we call overnight humidity recovery. And that's significant because you see very hot and dry conditions throughout the day, humidity levels between 10 and 15%. But overnight, what happens is the temperature drops and we also see the humidity level begin to rise. And that's really good for the firefighters because it allows them a bit of a break from those hot and dry conditions and allows them to even get ahead of the fire sometimes. So that's what we're looking at right now. Temperatures in the low 70s, so cooler weather out there. You look at the humidity levels, look at that, 71% out at the Redding Airport and 68% in Red Bluff. So again, we're seeing some good recovery here this morning. Take a look out the door this morning. You see temperature of about 76, 8 o'clock. By noon, should be around 94. And once again, temperatures around 100 degrees, smoky and hazy skies pretty much all day long, depending on where you are. And for the coast, we do have that fog throughout the morning hours, may burn off in some areas, with highs eventually reaching the upper 50s to low 60s. Kelly.
Mike, you remember we've been on the front lines of the Carr fire since it started 10 days ago. It is now listed as the 6th most destructive wildfire in the history of the state of California. And we are covering this fire with the help of our experienced team of reporters. And this morning we join reporter Claudette Stefanian from Old Shasta. Claudette?
Good morning to you, Kelly. We've changed locations to give you guys a better idea of what it's looking like in Old Shasta. And as you can see, we're on another lot yet again that has been completely burned to the ground. Nothing left of it except, as you can see, just the framing or the outline of things that used to be. And one of the things we're noticing over here is, as I was mentioning earlier this morning, we were seeing some flying sparks, but you can see some smoke over there in the distance. I'm not sure if you guys are able to discern it through the lens at all, but yeah, definitely speaks towards over here. And you're also looking at some downed power lines. It's particularly bad over here. We've been kind of seeing it all throughout Redding, California, where we're seeing just how bad the situation is with these power lines, where PG&E is trying to go in, trying to fix it. And we're also seeing a lot of downed trees, and you might hear some rustling in the background. We've also been having some wind conditions here as well. Now, we have had a viewer call in. He's asking about a historical museum. He's asking, he or she is asking if it's still standing. We're going to take the opportunity within the hour to go check up on that area, because as I'm noticing this morning, it looks like some houses completely untouched, while others have been completely decimated. So we're going to definitely take a closer look this morning just to see how it's looking. With that, back to you.
It's just overwhelming, and we appreciate you going out there to make those eyewitness checks for us, Claudette. We'll check back. Our reporters are out early this morning bringing you the stories of the Carr fire. Coming up, we'll check in with reporter Julia Avery.
Next weather maker is that monsoon moisture over Nevada. A lot of showers and thunderstorm activity out here. Getting a little too close for comfort, as a matter of fact. Question is, will that monsoon moisture make its way up in our direction? All the answer coming up next. Lightning. Hey.
One.
Most watched morning show is.
You have no idea what a privilege it is to be able to say good morning to America every single morning.
Closed captioning is provided by Strange and Son Fencing solutions of all kinds.
Well, this just into our newsroom. Today, Governor Brown will be checking on the response to the Carr fire and other California wildfires. He will visit the state's Emergency Operations Center in Mather, just outside Sacramento. And we plan to bring you that information and that visit on our sister station, My 21. Tune in for that live event starting at 10 a.m. Many people wonder how they can help the victims of the Carr fire. I know my kids have been asking me this. Well, tomorrow, KRCR News Channel 7 will be hosting the Care for Carr Telethon here on Channel 7. We're teaming up with the Salvation Army. Tomorrow, in the morning, Mike and I will be hosting On the Air with phones open from 5 to 9 a.m. Then tomorrow night, the telethon continues from 5 to 8 p.m. But you don't have to wait to donate. We're already accepting your online donations at krcrtv.com. Just click on the Care for Carr banner at the top of the page. All the donations will stay local for relief aid. We're actively helping the people impacted to recover and rebuild. Yosemite National Park has extended its closure due to the Ferguson fire. A park spokesman says the closure will be extended until Sunday. This is due to poor air quality that remains in the Yosemite Valley. It's the longest closure at Yosemite since 1997. It was closed back then for more than 2 months due to flooding. And the Carr fire is attracting some national attention. We'll tell you what some celebrities are saying about the destructive fire.
In this morning's GMA First Look, the girl after she tripped trying to do the challenge.
The last thing I remember was opening my car.
Welcome back, everyone. It looks like we are looking at the perimeter map here. This is actually the perimeter of the Carr fire. This is the map from yesterday, but what I do want to point out is I just was able to refresh the data, and I wasn't able to update it in my weather computer just yet. But what we're looking at right here, the main growth that I have seen is right around here. So it extends from here, and then the perimeter takes you right to the Shasta County and Trinity County line. So this area right here should be filled in red right here. Other than that, upon closer look, I haven't seen much, if any, growth with this area here, and I know this is an area that the firefighters have been really monitoring here very closely, and of course fighting very closely as well. So I haven't seen much, if any, growth here in the direction of Lewiston, even down to the south. I haven't seen much growth there either, so that's good. So again, the main area that I've seen growth right here is this section. All right, let's go ahead and take a look at the red flag warning we do have for Modoc County. It does include eastern Lassen County as well until 11 o'clock tonight. Hot, dry, and windy. There you can see the areas in orange, at least through Friday, is where some of the bigger concern for new fire starts, if they should start. Looking at your planner for the valley today, we do expect the smoky and hazy skies once again. Temperatures around 100 degrees, and for the coast, we'll be looking at that fog, especially this morning, most likely burning off by the afternoon with highs in the upper 50s to low 60s. Kelly.
Thanks, Mike. And a quick update on that fight to keep the Carr fire away from Lewiston and Trinity County. The Lewiston fire chief posted on Facebook that today he's working with 2 large sky cranes out of the Lewiston Community Park. Those helicopters will carry 2,000 gallons of retardant per trip. Chief Mel Deerdorf says there will be a big push today to knock down the fire before it reaches Lewiston, and he encourages everybody to stay off the road to give them space to do this important work. Meanwhile, a wildfire is raging to the north of us, forcing nearly 1,000 people from their homes in Oregon. The Taylor Creek fire has burned about 27,000 acres in the southwest part of the state. It's 30% contained, and more than 1,100 firefighters are working to get it under control.
The fire is about a mile behind us, and the last few days it's been pretty stable, so we're finally starting to relax a little bit and feel a little more at ease.
The Taylor Creek fire was started by lightning back on July 15th near Grants Pass. Some celebrities are tweeting about the Carr fire. The California Fire Foundation retweeted support from actors Rob Lowe and actor Leonardo DiCaprio, along with other celebrities. Both tweets gave thanks to firefighters risking their lives to protect people affected by fires across the state. Here's a quick look at the Fire Foundation donation website. They raise money for the children of fallen firefighters and for victims of fires. You've likely seen the video of that little girl handing out burritos to firefighters during the Carr fire.
Tell her, what did we bring the firefighters?
Is it burritos?
Did you bring them burritos? You did?
Coming up, more on little Gracie's new message to firefighters.
Are the historical landmarks in Old Shasta still standing? We're taking a closer look this morning, coming up.
You're watching KRCR News Channel 7 Daybreak.
One Maui Zowie and an order of wings.
Thank you. $250,000 people who have chosen Humira. Ask about the #1 prescribed biologic by dermatologists. Humira and go.
6:52 right now. We're trying to cover every inch of the Carr fire to give you information you need. And we have a team of reporters working the story. Reporter Claudette Stefanian joins us from Old Shasta, west of Redding. Claudette.
Good morning, Kelly. We had a viewer call in a few minutes ago asking what's the condition over there at the Courthouse Museum. We're over here in Old Shasta, which definitely pays homage to everything related to the California Gold Rush. And this is a historic park over here, and I know there's a lot of places here that people look to really remember that time. And luckily, this is still standing today. And so far, from what I've been able to tell, it looks like a lot of the structures that are connected kind of to that golden era seem to still be standing this morning. From what we're able to see, of course, we're not able to see everything. And I was speaking with CAL FIRE just a few moments ago because I noticed while the structure still standing, I'm also noticing a ribbon. That ribbon you're going to see to the left-hand side. It's pink. It also has black dots on it. And apparently what this means is that it's been inspected. So what this does tell us is that so far it looks like inspection crews have come out, they have assessed the area, and they've been able to take a look. Now, one thing they were advising me, they're advising locals to make sure that they go to this website, the one that I've been mentioning all morning, which is tinyurl.com/Carr Fire Structure Map. That's where you can assess whether an area, what the homes are looking like. And right now I'm taking a look at this area in general, and it looks like a lot of destroyed homes, but then you're also having those areas as well where it was able to be saved. So anyways, we're going to be keeping you posted from here, taking a better look on how things are looking over here in Old Shasta. Back to you.
Yeah, thanks for checking that out. I know a lot of people have been asking about Old Shasta, so great information there, Claudette. On the North Coast, the Mendocino complex has burned more than 80,000 acres, a combination of two fires that started on Monday. The river fire started near Hopland, and it's 12% contained. The ranch fire started near Ukiah. It's 10% contained. 8 homes have been destroyed. A little girl is making a big name for herself amid the destruction by the Carr fire. This video went viral showing little 2-year-old Gracie passing out burritos to firefighters at the Carr fire. Last night she was back delivering spaghetti. Gracie has this message for firefighters.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
If you'd like to submit pictures or videos of how you're helping firefighters, you can send them to our website, krcrtv.com/chime-in. Firefighters working to gain more containment on the Carr fire. Coming up, we'll check in with reporters to see what's happening this morning.
You're watching.
Have some new numbers.
Into a better day.
We're still going and we feel better.
Okay, we just have some new numbers from CAL FIRE, and producers, if you have a chance to get a graphic to put these on the screen, that would be great. But I'm going to read to you the new containment number from CAL FIRE on the Carr fire, 35%. 35%, so it jumped 5% overnight. That's fantastic news. It's up to 115,000 acres. The residential structures destroyed is 1,018. The structures that remain threatened are 2,546. The situation summary reads as follows. It says the western edge of the fire continued to challenge crews yesterday and into the night last night. Steep terrain, erratic winds, and previously unburned fuels are contributing to spot fire potential. Crews will continue to construct control lines and contingency lines to mitigate further spread. As conditions improve, repopulations will continue. And as we heard from the fire chief who posted on Facebook in Lewiston, they are going to mount an increased aerial attack using some large sky cranes, large helicopters, making large retardant drops. And he said they are keeping that fire from going into Lewiston. I know a lot of people concerned about Lewiston. And Mike Kruger here with the update on the fire weather today.
Yeah, you know, it looks like we still have fairly favorable conditions, especially this morning, as we do have the humidity levels that have gone up and the temperatures have gone down as well, and favorable for that. Now let's take a look at the map here, and I want to show you this is not the latest perimeter map. In fact, I was able to take a look at it, and if you look at the upper left-hand corner of that map, that is an area of a tongue that has kind of grown to the west into the Trinity County line there. But all in all, haven't seen much growth to the west. So that is certainly good news. The firefighters have done a terrific job holding it off from Lewiston.
Okay, and of course, CAL FIRE about to give that morning incident update from the fairgrounds. If you'd like to watch that, we will be streaming that at 7 o'clock at the CAL FIRE, or rather the KRCR Facebook page. Again, the new information just in: Carr fire 35% contained. That is up 5% overnight. Good Morning America is next.
You're watching KRCR News Channel 7. Get the facts right.
Good Morning America. Miracle survival. All 103 people on board this passenger jet surviving a terrible
You need a picture on a card. You need ID.
Tornado, the newly released video showing residents trying to escape the massive Carr fire in California. And this morning, the
continues to grow. We have brand new numbers from the Carr fire in the last 30 minutes. The containment now continues to grow. CAL FIRE just announced containment has grown to 35%, and the fire has burned 115,000 acres. 1,018 homes have been destroyed. The Lewiston fire chief this morning saying they will be assisting with an increased helicopter attack based at Lewiston Community Park. They'll be using 2 large sky cranes that can dump 2,000 gallons of retardant per drop. He says they will keep the fire out of Lewiston, but says people are asked to stay off the road so they can bring in more equipment to do this important work. Today, Governor Brown will be checking the fire response by visiting the state's Emergency Operations Center in Mather, just outside Sacramento. We plan to carry the governor's visit to that Emergency Operations Center. You can watch it on our sister station, My 21, for the live event. Coverage starts at 10 a.m. And Chief Meteorologist Mike Kruger has today's fire conditions right after this.
Plush lipstick, single swipe, endless color. Long-wearing